you have problems picking up women? I sure do. But then I played Duke Grabowski, Mighty Swashbuckler, and now instead of macing me, they kick me in the balls and run away. This is from Venture Moon Industries. It's on the Unity engine. You can pick it up for $7 to $8 of your local currency.
$6.99.
Oh, $6.99. There's a 69 joke somewhere. What is it? Duke Grabowski, Mighty Swashbuckler is a classic point-and-click adventure created with love by an indie team that includes LucasArts alumni Bill Tiller from Curse of the Monkey Island, Steven Spielberg's The Dig, Indiana Jones, and the Infernal Machine. We were provided keys by the lovely guy who asked us to check it out, and so we obliged him. So let's cue the CHAIRQUISITION. 1 chair means that it's garbage. 2 chairs means that it's meh. 3 chairs means that it's pretty good. 4 chairs means that it's amazeballs. And we got our categories of doom, makes with the working, shiny sounds, controls, and fun. So then, let's kick this off. Did Duke Grabowski grab your system by the nards and twist it, or did it run smoothly?
Well, unfortunately, Duke did not nuke the box of business over here on the 8150 octo-core 980 powered 4K displayed system of Ratch over there. No problems, no issues, except for one, which is not really a problem, but if you followed when the developers initially sent me some keys, like, hey, do you want to get an interview and we'll interview you guys? It's like, oh, well, you probably wouldn't like that. I closed the game and couldn't really quit it because the quit button was like shifted over. That only happened that one time, but yeah, man, I mean, it works. It's a Unity game. No Unity scream of nope, so give it 4 chairs.
Yeah, on the Fedora 2464-bit i7 6700K with the GTX 980. Ugh, Morty, it worked fine. You gotta take this game and you gotta shove it up now. It worked fine. No real issues for a Unity game. There's you get some of the. It does this weird thing where you get some of the underruns on the loading screens and the intro cinematics, but once the game kicks off, there's no real issue. So I'm not gonna ding it a chair for that. 4 chairs.
Yeah, I kind of have to dig in a chair because over here on Ubuntu Mate 1604 with the GTX 1080 and DFX 8370E overclocked at 4.2 gigahertz. During the intro cutscene, the subtitles only quote-unquote started about halfway through, and then they froze again immediately after 2 lines. So something's a bit iffy, and there's a bunch of tearing in the game. That's very, very noticeable. So 3 chairs.
All right, well, that's 3 chairs for Mix with working on. Next is the shiny and the sounds. Ven, the sing a mighty chorus of beauty in your face.
Unfortunately, this did not blow my eye pussies out of my head organ. Listen, come on. What you're dealing with this is your 3D models on a 2D background. Done perfect. It still looks like Jake. This game, however, is not done perfectly. I mean, the characters don't move. Well, your main protagonist, he doesn't move, man. He kind of like glide walks. It just looks very lazily done. You're like, somebody said, okay, that's ready for production. Let's put it out there. And then we talk about, this is a talkie, one of those fancy talkie games, you know, not back in the silent days like I like. And it's just jaw hinge talk. And it's like, okay, there's one moving part and that's it. It's pretty annoying. And to add to that is it's out of sync. It's horribly out of sync. It doesn't matter what you're running it on the Kubuntus or the Fedoras or the Arch. It's out of sync because there's nothing to really sync to other than flappy paddle mouth. All right, show title. The easy one for you, Empty. Threw that in there. I love you, buddy. When it comes to the sounds, I couldn't fucking deal with what passed for voice acting in this fucking game. So Slayer it was. And that results in 2 chairs.
See, when Ven brought up, like, talkie games, I just flashed back to, like, some sort of vaudeville stage where, like, you have, like, the people doing their things and then someone comes up with a sign that says, press X to pay respects or some such. I don't know. Anyways, you can really tell who recorded this at their desks with their webcam mics and who actually had a proper recording whisper room. I'm not gonna spoil that for you. If you want to pick up this game, you can play that home game yourself. Though TIL, John St. John, the voice of Duke Nukem, voices the zombies in this. It's a bit of wasted casting in my opinion, but so be it. The game itself, visually, it's not that impressive. The in-game stuff looks like 2003 PlayStation quality graphics, or maybe like PC games on super low. And the pre-rendered cutscenes look like something out of a VeggieTales cartoon. With less Christian propaganda, or maybe more. I can't really tell with this game. Regardless, it's kind of middling for visuals, or in the audiovisual department. It's not horrid, but it's not fantastic either, so that gets it 2 chairs.
It does look especially jarring when Duke attempts to move deeper into any of the sceneries. And giggity, yeah. And it doesn't help that he already looked far too big and disproportionate when compared to everyone else around him.
Hey, you watch it now.
One could make the argument that he was made to look like the gorilla, but even the gorilla is considerably bigger than he is. So, I don't know. I'm guessing like the 2 most egregious examples of bad audio quality that Jordan mentioned were Kickstarter backers who paid enough to be in the game, which I can only reinforce how big a misapplication of judgment it was by what's coming up in the fun segment. Also, where's the anti-aliasing? Oh, that's right. This is a Unity game. The default anti-aliasing from the presets, they don't work in Linux. 2 chairs.
All right, well, that's 2 chairs for Shiny and the Sounds. Up next is Control. Ben, how did it control? Was it super complicated Deus Ex level, or what?
Absolutely did not work with my Nintendo Power Glove. Hate that. However, this is your point-and-click game. You point, you click on things. Things do things. Nothing to report here from L.G.C. Actual, but 4 chairs.
Yeah, I gotta ding it a chair just because the UI for combining or crafting items or getting people to use their skills on things doesn't really make much sense. I'll get into that a little bit more in the fun segment. But considering you kind of need to do it to complete the game, it dings it a chair for 3.
Yeah, not only does it not make a lot of sense, but sometimes it fails to register, because when you're trying to use one of those skills of your quote-unquote party members on a bit of the scenery, and you need to move the mouse away from the inventory window, sometimes it doesn't register that you moved it far enough away, so you're grinding like the edges of the screen trying to get it to register, and it just doesn't. So that gets dinged a chair, 3 chairs.
All right, well, that's 3 chairs for Control. Let's wrap this up, put a bow on it. Ben, did you have fun?
All right. Your primary mission here is to run about and woo the ladies. Pro tip. If you're pushing like 2.2 meters and built like a brick, house, that's not going to be hella difficult, Brad. I'm not saying Look Saloon will woo the best and the brightest, but it goes a long ways. This may or not be from personal experience. Also, it's a bit sexist, question mark, kind of thinking. Anywho, I mean, this game has genuinely bored the piss out of me from Genesis, from the start. The only reason I put as much time in it is because Jordan was talking to last night with MT and Foxy. Jordan's like, I beat it. And I was like, God damn it, you can't beat me in something. And yeah, no, you beat me, Jordan. You beat me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't take any more of this. For multiple reasons, but I'm going to try to make this short and succinct. Attempted humor. It just falls flat. It's not fucking there. They try. Jordan might disagree with me on that. But visually, again, I mean, this thing looks like a student project. This does not even look like a very well fleshed out early access title. And to add to that, it's hella short. Apparently, they wanted to make this episodic. You look at the reviews on the Steams. Derp is clocking in at 3 hours for this, and apparently you can blow through it in well under 2. There's nothing at all to make you give the slightest singular fuck about this story at all. So what you really got to realize is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the industry quit making these types of games for a reason. Yeah, Double Fine. Guess what? They can go back and pull from the long ago and remaster some of their classics, but you take a look at their latest point and click, their latest IP, Broken Age. It was met with a resounding meh. And this, lads, is no Broken Age. 1 chair.
So they have this one line, and once you get to the prison where someone refers to a place as a wretched hive of scum, all caps with the trademark and billingly, and that got a laugh out of me, and only me, because I'm one of these people who likes corny, like terrible jokes. So there are a couple of bits that actually got a legitimate laugh. The rest of it is kind of like Doctor Strange. No spoilers, but there are a couple of jokes in there that feel like this is a manufactured joke that's designed to make me laugh, and I can tell that it's trying to do that, but it's just not working. For a Monkey Island style inspired adventure game, this is pretty tame because there isn't really any consequence for failure. There's no you don't have to find items at the beginning of the game that become useful at the end of the game. You don't have to like really press everyone for information in order to figure things out. Everything is more or less spoon-fed to you. Anything you need to solve any given puzzle is pretty much on the screen or on the current island you're on. Although the only monkey wrench that gets thrown into that is when all of a sudden randomly new context menus will show up on random objects that you checked before. In this case, the tab key is your friend, because otherwise you're not going to know what to click on. Can I please get a speed up button? Because the majority of the time I spent playing this game was waiting for Duke to walk from one side of the screen to the other at his slow, plodding speed. You can beat it in about 2 hours, but that's with going around clicking everything and not paying attention to all the dialogue when they tell you, oh, you need to do this, and they go, what the hell am I supposed to do? And then when you listen to it, you're like, oh, I'm just stupid. I mean, it's for an event, and it's also it's really short. They give you a hint that there are other islands that you can go to, and you go to one. I thought maybe, oh yeah, you go to other ones to woo different ladies. Nope. So, yeah, that sort of lends to this was intended to be episodic and we never really told anyone about it. But when all is said and done, I can't give it 1 chair because, maybe a story about a big dumb guy who wasn't great with women hits a bit close to home. So it gets a sympathy chair, 2 chairs.
I can relate on the dumb part, but the biggest sin this game has under its belt, it's boring. It's so fucking boring. I mean, for all the spiels I've given about mechanics versus narrative and aesthetics, point-and-click adventure games come out of the gate with a very serious handicap because the mechanics of point-and-click have been stripped bare, boiled down, and fine-picked to the bone over the past 20-something years. So if you're going to put yet another adventure game out there, you better have something really special to bring to the table. And Van already brought up Broken Age earlier. Double Fine really tried to have that 2 characters, 2 storylines, and they never really intersect until that one particular point. But that didn't work, because again, that game was met with a resounding meh. But I guess working in a few very successful LucasArts games does count towards that specialness. Unfortunately, when your background is design, writing, and illustration, it doesn't really mean much for a video game. I've said it time and time again, video games live or die on their mechanics, and Duke Grabowski does absolutely nothing to differentiate itself from the hundreds of point-and-click adventure games which nostalgia-fueled dimwits keep throwing money out on Kickstarter. Playing past the 20-minute mark of this game was painful. Not because of something the game did. No. It's precisely because it did nothing of interest that I was so goddamn bored. I think this would have been a fun story if it were a short movie, like your Big Buck Bunnies and those teeny tiny short Pixar shorts that Pixar releases every now and again. You work on the dialogue a little bit and you got yourself an awesome 30-minute to an hour short, which people can actually enjoy. As a game, though, it feels, and is very fucking short. 1 chair.
All right, well, that's 1 chair for fun, and that totals out to about 2 chairs for Duke Grabowski, mighty swashbuckler. So, gentlemen, final thoughts.
It's a game. It games. You can play it. Strider loves them. I personally, I just don't. I couldn't deal with the voice work in it. Not even being snobbish about that. I was just like, I just don't care. Don't care. Couldn't bring my. I was like, give me a story. Broken Age, at least. I was like, all right. Why is there a fox on the spaceship? let's figure this out. This is like, woo, how do woo lady, we're grog. And I was like, no. Even the monkey had like fucked up, like, all right, apparently monkeys in this fucking, monkeys, greater apes, have like fuck up predator teeth. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? And I get it. The background art, it's all right. The 3D janked in shit, it looks completely unfinished. Not a fan of it. Not a story. And I hate to say it, I understand why this guy's a former employee of LucasArts.
because their play shut down?
Basically, but yeah, no. Was this supposed to be episodic? Because if it was, this is a very short episode, and it's not being properly communicated. In fact, the ending cutscene seems to imply that this is, in fact, it. That's bad, man. Real bad.
I don't know. I feel it's not vicious enough to be like a good adventure game where you need to have some sort of chance of failure. You need to there needs to be some kind of tension. Otherwise, it's just sort of running around pointing and clicking, and that sort of breaks my immersion. And I mean, if I can beat your point and click adventure game in 2 hours, you got problems because I suck at these games. So.